river to the sea.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
Palestine will be free.
The anger here runs deep.
Justice is our demand.
We're in Dearborn, Michigan, the heart of Arab America. The people here are angry with U.S. President Joe Biden over his staunch support of Israel in its war on Gaza. Tens of thousands of Palestinians have been killed since the October 7 attacks, but the White House has not supported a ceasefire. The mission for these demonstrators? Abandon Biden in the coming 2024 presidential election. For some, it's personal. Mariam Toot has family in Gaza, but hasn't been able to contact them.
The communications have been cut off. There isn't really a way to find out how people are doing. It's more frightening than I think anything has been in the past, even with the bombardments.
There is no mincing words. We watch speakers queue in this theater to take the podium and blast the policies of the U.S. president. One by one, the message is clear. Arab America will not support Biden.
He thinks that he's going to be able to run on the idea of, I'm better than the other guy. Well, we tried that already. We tried that in 2020. It's been a massive failure. And they asked us in 2020 to save America from Donald Trump. And now we've realized we have to save Palestine from Joe Biden.
4 years ago, I worked on the Biden campaign. I worked on Arab American engagement here in the state of Michigan. We came out to vote for Biden because he was running against Trump. We knew that he was a Zionist, so I don't want to say we were surprised by his reaction to what has been going on. We thought he would be somebody who would lead with compassion and humanity, but instead he has led with hypocrisy. So as a community, we're very disappointed. We're pledging not to vote for somebody who has funded the genocide of our people.
Arab and Muslim Americans say they're very angry with President Joe Biden over his refusal to support a ceasefire in Gaza and say that he is essentially complicit in a genocide.
Justice! Now! Justice! Now!
Michigan is an important battleground state in U.S. presidential elections. It swings between Democrats and Republicans. While Joe Biden won here in 2020, picking up the state from Donald Trump, it was only by about 150,000 votes, just over 1% of the electorate. And what could be a problem for Biden is that hundreds of thousands of Arab Americans live here.
They will know that Trump is worse, but they also cannot bring themselves to cast a vote for somebody who they felt has betrayed them on so many levels. I can imagine myself going into a town hall meeting in one of these cities and saying, you've got to vote for the lesser of two evils, Joe Biden, and literally being driven out of town.
When asked about this, Biden appeared to shrug off any major concerns about losing that bloc's vote.
The former president wants to put a ban on Arabs coming into the country. We'll make sure we understand who cares about the Arab population, number one. Number two, we got a long way to go in terms of settling the situation in Gaza.
But if Arab Americans here really do decide to abandon Biden, it could cost him the presidency. And word is spreading.
Betrayed by Biden and other Democrats, Arab and Muslim Americans in Michigan vow we will never vote for them again.
Osama Siblani is the publisher of the Arab American News. The paper has a long history in Dearborn. Osama has covered events like the Iraq War from here, and his finger is firmly on the pulse of the local community.
We started the paper 40 years ago, and we galvanized our community, and this city became capital of Arab America.
But today, everybody is talking about one man. Biden is making the front page a lot these days, and the headlines are far from positive.
Every single cover of the paper is about the Palestinian issue. As we move closer to today's events, people are angrier by the day.
But Osama is still open to communication with the president. He met Biden's 2024 campaign manager, Julie Chavez Rodriguez, to get across just how angry his community is in this moment.
Julie Rodriguez did not make any decisions on bombing and killing people. She was hired to manage a campaign to re-elect Joe Biden. She's going to take what we said and go and tell Biden directly. And I told Julie, he's a war criminal. Biden is a war criminal. In our opinion, we don't see him our president. It is about humanity.
A short drive from Osama's office, and we're in the outskirts of Detroit.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
The city sways heavily towards the Democratic Party. But at the local mosque, it's a different story. Imam Imran Salha is leading afternoon prayers, but he's happy to talk politics too.
All of the protests, when they're advertised, the majority of the advertising power is in these religious institutions. And we've made sure to be one of those centers that speak out.
And when it comes to the 2024 election, Imam Imran is clear about who he won't be voting for.
If I were to sign the ballot for Biden, the ink that I would use to sign that ballot would be with the blood of the innocent civilians that were murdered in Gaza and in the West Bank. We said to ourselves, we were part of the voting bloc that put this man in power. And we feel bad. We are strategically placed in swing states that literally gave Biden the presidency. So if we are to organize, we can literally correlate his loss this next election with what he did to the Palestinians. This is our goal.
That goal comes in all shapes and sizes. While the abandoned Biden campaign is taking aim at the presidency, Arab-American businessman Nasser Beydoun is hoping to win a seat in the U.S. Senate.
I don't trust the Biden administration. I don't trust Joe Biden. What could be worse than what he's done?
Nasser, who is running as a Democrat, has championed the Palestinian cause in his campaign. He also wants to end America's military support for Israel.
I'm tired of our tax dollars going to fund war, genocide. I want to be able to rein in the military-industrial complex, to shrink the Pentagon budget and invest it in our country. It's amazing how we can never find money for domestic projects. You go to Washington with it, and they say, no, we can't afford that. But when it comes to funding war or funding Israel, it's amazing how fast they find the money.
Nasser is no supporter of Donald Trump, but he believes the former U.S. president will win again if the Democratic Party fails to ditch Biden.
What we're trying to say to the Democratic establishment is that your candidate is not going to win. It's incumbent upon you to find somebody that can beat Donald Trump. We are flexing our political power.
The political mood in Dearborn is one of disappointment and anger towards Biden. The war in Gaza has turned the upcoming election on its head, and residents here are actively campaigning against the incumbent. It remains to be seen how voters will turn out in Michigan, but what is clear is that Biden has little chance of getting Arab Americans back on his side.